Welcome to Align Christ-Centered Yoga. I am Linda and I'm going to be guiding your practice today. If you would like to use blankets or blocks or stacks of books or any kind of prop that you have to assist you during your practice, feel free to pause the video and to go get those. Also, we do have a playlist on Spotify. It's just called Align Yoga. And so if you would like to go to our Align playlist, then you can worship with music, or if you'd like to create a playlist of your own, feel free to do that as well. As we go through the practice, I will let you know when to start the playlist. In the moment, we are getting ready to paint our family room downstairs. And in that, we needed to move all of the stuff away from all of the walls. And so what that meant was yet another carload, almost a van load of stuff that we do not need, that we are getting rid of, that we are donating, we are recycling, that we simply don't use anymore. And we've lived in this house a long time and just accumulated things. And Jesus is really clear, about his mandate to not do that. In the book of Matthew, he says this, do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in and steal. I've been thinking about this, and my daily devotion today was from the book of Jeremiah. And the prophet speaks to the destruction of the countries surrounding the Israelites. And the reason for the destruction of those countries, Moab, because they have trusted in their own works and their own treasures. Ammon, because they have been lazy about doing the Lord's work. And Edom, because they have held on to property and treasure, and because they have been deceived by the terrible things they have done, by their pride, ultimately, is what that reads out to be. So all of these countries, all of these peoples are holding on to things that do not glorify God, do not honor God, do not help God. So my thought for the day is for you to reflect as you practice with me today. Reflect on those things that you no longer need. And maybe they are material things like me, in the moment. Maybe it's that carload or that van load of stuff that is just suffocating you. You don't need it anymore. You're not using it anymore. It is not necessary. Let it go. But maybe for you, it's mental or psychological. Maybe it's spiritual sin. Whatever it is today that you have been storing up, just releasing that, letting that go, surrendering that. And instead, turning your eyes, turning your mind towards the God of the universe, the God who loves you, and all that will glorify him. If you have a block or a blanket, go ahead and get that. Bring it underneath your hips. Anything that can elevate your hips just a few inches, towels work, books work. Begin to draw the flesh away from the sitting bones. Today we are going to do a hip opening practice. So we're just going to try to release through the hips, the lower back, quadriceps, hamstrings, IT band. And in that, as we let go and release those muscles, maybe letting go of some other things in our lives as well. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Begin to find your breath today. Just notice where you are as you begin. Begin to lengthen the breath, breathing down the body, just really inhaling into the lungs and the rib cage and the belly, all the way down to that pelvic floor. Exhale up. Maybe even just in this longer, slower, deeper breath, you can begin to feel the body release and the mind begin to clear. Continue with that breath. Let the Check in physically, noticing where the body has settled, what is tight. Where might you want to be a little bit more careful today in your practice? Where might you want to modify? Let the hands come down to the mat. Just check in mentally and spiritually. Again, just acknowledging where you are as you settle into your practice. Inviting the Holy Spirit to lead your mind, to lead your body, to restore you, renew you, transform you. Deep breath in, arms rise high, palms together. Exhale, let those hands come down. Just inhale up, arms rise. Exhale, hands come down. Begin to connect movement with breath. So you're actually leading with your breath. You begin the inhale, then the movement. Begin the exhale. And find your own pace, your own breath. One more breath here. As you're ready, release. Come off the block. Find the sitting bones. Taking a deep breath in, draw arms up and together. Inside of the hands together, wrists, forearms, elbows together. Beginning to find a bit of a stretch in the upper back. And then as you exhale, just gently come forward towards the floor. So you're warming up, being very careful, possibly supporting those arms on a prop. Maybe feeling a little bit more flexible today. Arms coming to the floor. Noticing here, just noticing, don't need to change anything. Are the elbows together? Are they apart? Wherever you are, can you drop the head and begin to just move it a little bit side to side, front to back, and release through the neck. Notice where you feel the stretch. And the next inhale, press into the hands and rise up. So whichever leg is front, bring that leg out to the side, doesn't matter which one it is. Go ahead and rotate the body towards that leg. Exhale forward, inhale back. It's warming up through those hamstring muscles, through the lower back, really noticing what's going on today. Where are we tight? Where might you need to be a little more careful? Come forward and just settle wherever the body takes you. Again, for some of us, you're going to be pretty high up here. Others might be much further down. Work with your body. Begin to breathe length into the body. And as you exhale, allow the body to grow heavy. One more breath here. And bring that right arm to the inside of the leg. Sweep the left arm all the way up. Bring it over your head. Sorry, opposite arm of leg over your head, since we're all facing different directions here. Go ahead and bring that top shoulder back, maybe just a half an inch, maybe an inch. And consider the gaze. Is it best in the moment to have that gaze up or down? Adjust the pose for you. A nice deep breath in. Let that arm come all the way up and release. Switch sides so the other leg is now in front, legs crossed. Again, finding the sitting bones. Maybe moving flush away from those bones so that you can just really be anchored in. Nice deep breath in, arms rise. Bring the inside of the hands, wrists, forearms, elbows together. Tuck your chin. Draw the belly in, crunch through those abdominals, and come down. Again, using props if that's better for you to support your arms. Noticing, are the arms together? Are they apart? Noticing, is this side the same as the other side? How does that hip feel? How about the lower back? Press into your hands and rise up. So again, that front leg, it doesn't matter which one it is, comes out to the side. Turning the body so that you're facing towards the foot pressed in so that the heel is pressing away, the toes are drawing in towards you, dorsiflexed. Gently exhale, come forward. Inhale, come up. Back and forth here. As you're ready, come forward. Engaging through the abdominals. Allow the head to come down. Breathe in, breathe out. How are the sensations on this side different than they were on the other side? Why did your body stop here? And as you're ready, just gently come up. Bring that same arm as leg to the inside. Sweep the other arm all the way up. Reach overhead, reaching for those toes. Draw the shoulder back and gaze up, gaze down. Inhale, arms rise. Bring both legs out. Windshield wiper the feet a little bit. Flex the feet, toes draw in towards the body, but rotate the foot slightly towards the outside. Take your two fingers, press into the hip crease. Begin to just lean forward. Again, stop wherever the body takes you. Hands to the mat, head extended. Pressing into your hands, rise up. Go ahead and bring your left leg in at the front, right leg behind you, just so that we're all facing the same direction here. Begin to lift and lower your left leg. So rock all the way across the hips, massage out the glutes. We are lubricating that hip joint. One more time. Then begin to just add in the body. Head drops, shoulder drops, rib cage. Back and forth here. And as you're ready, just let that leg come down. And using the blocks, if that's better, to support your head. Bring the body over the leg and support the head on the block if that is best. Some of you will be flexible enough that that head can come all the way down towards the mat. Again, just find the length of the spine, breathe into it. You're going to half pigeon here. Just notice what's going on the outside of that hip. And one more breath here. Gently press up into your hands. You're going to take this right leg, cross it over your left leg. Take your thumb into that left hip. Begin to find a little bit of a twist as you sit up. And then just gently begin to rotate towards Rotating towards that left shoulder. Left shoulder drawing towards that back wall. And release. So switching. Now the right leg in front, the left leg behind. Begin to lift and lower that front leg. Again, massaging all the way out over the glutes. Notice any popping, crackling, just noticing. You need to shift or change if there's no pain. As you're ready, let the head, shoulders, ribs come through. A couple more times here. As you're ready, that knee comes down. Hands to either side of the leg. Begin centered, body centered over leg. Begin to draw the body down. And again, you may be supporting yourself with a block or with your palms. Maybe making a fist to give yourself a little bit more height. Just find what works for you. Can you keep your feet flexed? And just as you do that, notice any sensations that shift. And as you're ready, press into your hands and rise up. Go ahead and bring both feet together in butterfly. And just lift and lower your knees. And let the knees settle. Just stay here for 5 breaths. So maybe you just stay right there. Maybe you support the legs with a block. Breathe in, breathe out. Engage through the abdominals, shoulders over hips. Find breath. What are you letting go of today with that exhale? What heavenly treasures are you storing up with that inhale? One more breath here. Hands come underneath the leg, gently draw the leg up. Cross the ankles, bring the props to the front edge of the mat, come forward and meet me in table. Taking a deep breath in table, just really establish neutral position of the spine. Let that head stay just parallel to the rest of the back, kind of hiding the feet behind your knees there. Exhale, find your cat pose. Inhale, cow. 2 more times here, cat to cow. And then meet me in center. Gently draw back into child, but bring the hips over towards the right. Inhale up to table. Draw the hips back to the left. Inhale to table. Hips to right. One more time, each direction. Meet me at center. Go ahead and curl the toes underneath. Draw the knees up towards the rib cage. Find that first downward facing dog today. How much length can you find in the spine as those fingertips reach forward? Knees are still deeply bent. Begin to gently just pedal through your feet. Just really move the body as well. So hips moving from side to side. Heels maybe shifting a little bit as well. And that next inhale, let the heels rise. The next exhale, let those heels come down towards the mat. First downward facing dog of today, just noticing how much of those knees bent. Yeah, no right or wrong here. You're working with your body. Just find tension but not struggle, and notice where there is tension. Go ahead and inhale into plank. Draw knees down to the mat. Find a kneeling plank as you come all the way down. And just stay here in low cobra as you begin to draw up into a back bend. And come in and out of low cobra a couple of times. Come into low cobra, engaging through the abdominals, pressing through the fingers. And just find the right pose for you. Begin to really find the work across the middle of the back. Press through the tops of the feet, engage the legs. And then hands flat to the mat, come through table to child. Hips come straight back in child, looking for length in the spine. And come through table to meet me in downward facing dog. So let's just move through this flow twice more. Plank to the mat. However you choose to do that. Maybe grasshopper, maybe low plank. Find your low cobra. Sphinx is an option. Exhale back to child. You can stay in child, or you can meet me in downward facing dog. One more time. Plank. Find your way to the mat. Back bend to child. And meet me in downward facing dog. Stay in downward facing dog for 2 more breaths. And just noticing, adjusting, making the pose work for you. Use your breath to find the pose. Next inhale, right leg rises high. Gaze comes forward. Crunch through the abdominals, float the foot through. Maybe using blocks if those props help you out. Begin to drop and lift that back knee. Just beginning to open up through the psoas. As you're ready, just let that back knee drop down. Just begin to settle into that stretch just a bit. Bring the hands inside that front leg and begin to walk that front leg out. Top of the back foot to the mat. Front foot, toes are off the mat. Heel is on the mat. Shoulders underneath, or wrists underneath the shoulders, and begin just to drop into the stretch here. Settle into the stretch here. Just consider lifting that back leg. For some of us it doesn't work. It might cause a hamstring cramp. Back right out of it if that happens. Maybe you can find that quadricep stretch. And maybe you can take that opposite arm, right arm back, reach for that foot, and begin to find a back bend. So, you can find the pose at any place. Maybe your hands are still on the mat. As you're ready, release. Back leg comes down, hands come to the center. Slowly toe heel that front foot in. Lean into that stretch again a little bit. Lift the back leg high. Bring the front foot to the back, find plank. Nice strong plank, draw the knees down. Come through grasshopper. Gently draw the shoulders back towards the hips and then the hips to the heels. And meet me in downward facing dog. As you're ready, left leg rises high. Gaze comes forward. Crunch through the abdominals. Bring the foot through your hands. Props if that's better for you. I have really long arms, so I don't generally need them for this. That knee just comes down and up. And just really easing into that stretch. Psoas muscle on the right side. And as you're ready, let that back knee come down to the mat. Foot flat to the floor in the back. Begin to gently toe heel that front leg out. Heel is on the mat. Toes are off just slightly. Wrist directly underneath the shoulders. Dropping hips into the stretch. Yeah, maybe this is enough for you. Maybe this is where you stop. Maybe for you, it feels good to get that quadricep stretch in. That back leg rises high. Left hand to the center of the mat. Right arm reaches around to catch that left foot. Maybe the gaze comes up as well. One more breath. And as you're ready, release. You walk the foot back to the mat, center of the mat. Curl the toes under and the back. Raise up that back leg. This time, bring the back leg to the front. Knees deeply bent. Rib cage to thighs. Forearms to thighs. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Just look down at your feet. Are they parallel? Are they hip width apart? Is one foot in front or behind the other? And can you realign if you need to? From here, drop the hips maybe just another 1.5 inches or so. Arms come up in front of the ears. Body rises. Spine is in neutral position as you find chair pose. Just to sink into this chair pose for a moment, take your two fingers to your hips and just right above you, there's a bone there right up top of the hip bone. You just gently press into that. See if that can create some release as you draw the rib cage in. Arms rise. You're finding that chair pose. Come up and out of chair pose, mountain pose. Stay in mountain. Find your breath. Make it a nice strong mountain. And then just hold on to that left wrist. Come over to the right. You're going to anchor into that. And maybe the shoulder comes back. Maybe the gaze comes up. Can you press evenly into both feet? Exhale, hands to the small of the back. You find a back bend here. So you're still pressing down with your feet, just kind of lifting your collarbone up and back. Inhale, arms rise high, straighten up. You're going to hold on to that other wrist and just come all the way over. Try not to move the hips. This is coming from the upper body. You're using the muscles at the internal obliques to pull yourself over. And maybe the gaze comes up. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale high. Exhale, forward fold. So this is your first full forward fold. Be gentle, bend your knees if you need need to, explore it. Maybe just move the hands from one heel over to the other, back and forth here. And as you're ready, shake your head out no, shake your head out yes. 2 more breaths in forward fold. Inhale, length. What else can you soften or release? Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. One leg back and then the other. Find plank. Engage through plank. Come down to the mat however you choose to do that. Find the back bend of your choice. And meet me in downward facing dog. So finding downward facing dog, bring your hands in just a tiny, tiny bit. Lift the heels all the way up as you inhale, exhale those heels down. And then just very slowly go ahead and press into that right leg, make it strong. Bend that left leg. Just gently turn the toe, the big toe, towards the center just a tiny, tiny bit. Begin to just find a stretch here in the straight leg. So you're going to find a stretch in the outside of the straighter leg. There's not a lot of pressure on this bent leg. That knee is coming in towards the center of the mat just a little. Release, lift the heels up. Legs are parallel. Press them down. Press into that left leg again. There's very little weight on this right leg. Turn the toe in just a little bit. Find the stretch in the outside of the hip of that straight leg. Inhale, high heels rise, feet are parallel. Exhale, heels down to the mat. Find downward facing dog. One more breath here. Inhale to plank. Knees drop down to the mat or chaturanga. Back bend. Maybe you're in upward dog now. Meet me back in downward facing dog. Let the right leg rise high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through. Rise up into lunge. Sink into lunge. From here, right hand to the small of the back, left arm across. Meet me in twist. Nice high twist. Breathe in, breathe out. As you're ready, come forward. Bring the hands down to either side of that foot, maybe finding blocks. And begin to straighten and bend that front leg. As you're ready, straighten out the front leg to that place where you find tension in the hamstrings. Again, different for each of us. You're going to drop that left hip, that back hip is going to drop slightly, and you're going to imagine that there's a cable pulling your front hip, that left hip, that right hip crease up towards the ceiling. Release all the tension in the neck. No struggle, no shaking. Back off it if you need to. And as you're ready, just bend that front leg a bit, bring that back leg halfway up. Begin to just rock through your feet. Okay? So front and back foot are just rocking here. And then with both feet flat on the mat, can you find a stretch here? So again, maybe that front leg is bent a little bit more than mine is. Shake your head out no, shake it out yes, maybe it's straighter than mine is. And as you're ready, move the props out of the way. Just bring that back foot the rest of the way up. Drop your hips. Meet me in chair. And just find chair pose here. So those hips are going to drop back, the rib cage softens, shoulders drop down towards hips. Stay here for another breath. Inhale, rise high. Mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Shake your head out now, yes. Find your fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. One leg back and then the other. Breathe. Knees drop. Exhale back, child's pose. Stay in child's pose for 2 breaths. And meet me in downward facing dog. Left leg rises high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes through the hands. Engage those abdominals. Rise up into lunge. Find a lunge that's right for you. That back hip is coming forward. That front hip crease drawing back. Left arm to the small of the back. Right arm across. Find your twist. One more breath here. Exhale, release. Hands come down to the mat. Find your props. That works best for you. Begin to find your hamstring stretch. It's bending and straightening that front leg. Again, just finding the edge. There's tension, but there's no struggle. Next time that leg lengthens, keep it there. And just checking in, are the back toes facing straight forward? Is that back hip square to the mat, or are you lifting it out towards the side? Can you draw it back to the mat? How much length can you find in your neck? Gently bring that front knee towards the ankle. Bring that back foot halfway up and begin to rock your feet. Again, the feet stay connected to the floor. You're just rolling all the way heel to the ball of the foot. Front foot just comes down, toes down, and then back up. And as you're ready, feet come to the mat. Bend that front leg in a little if you need to. Find the stretch. How does this stretch compare to the stretch when you did the pose on the other side? Get you ready, release. Bend that front leg a bit. Bring that back leg forward to meet the front. Drop the hips. Blocks out of the way. Meet me in chair. Sink into chair pose. Spine in neutral position. Again, just try it. Take the 2 fingers right to the top of the hips there. And you just gently nudge them down just a bit. Does that help the lower back release? Does it help the rib cage soften and draw in? And then the arms come back up. Deep breath in, rise high. Exhale, forward fold. So from here, gently drop the hips down and then lift them back up. Straightening through the right leg, bend the left knee. Both feet stay on the mat. We're looking for a stretch in the IT band outside of that right hip. Just breathe into it, find it. Release, straighten out the legs, bend the knees, drop the hips. Find your forward fold again. Same thing, other side. Feet stay on the mat. Right knee bends, left leg stays where it is. Can you find the stretch in the iliotibial band outside of that left leg? Bend the knee, drop the hips. Find your forward fold. 2 breaths here. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down, inhale, rise high, mountain pose. Strong mountain pose, hands to heart. Closing your eyes, check in. Just notice the sensations in the body. Maybe you can feel your heart rate now. Maybe you can slow your heart rate down as you slow your exhale down. As you're ready, let your hands come down to your side. Shake everything out. And let's see what we can do for balance today. So stepping into that right foot. Engage through the abdominals. Hips steady and down. Arms out to the side. This is just for balance in the moment, just to anchor that body. Eyes in the horizon in front of you. Gently bring that left leg up. Foot comes up towards the hip. And you can use a towel to help you to do this. You can use a strap if that's better for you. I'm going to show this to you from the side. So your knees are, one knee is not forward of the other. You're going to bring this opposite arm forward just for a little bit of traction. Bring that thumb and first finger together. We're working into dancer pose. So gently lift the hip points up. Press the foot into the hand into foot. Keep the balance as that leg extends and rises. And as you're ready, bend up from the hip of that front leg. Just breathe in, breathe out, and release. And come down and shake it out. Same thing, other side. So you're going to really anchor into that left leg. Hands out, abs in, eyes on that horizon in front of you. And you're going to find that quadricep stretch. Knees are even with each other. You bring the left arm out in front of you, thumb to finger, hips forward. So maybe this is enough for you. Maybe you have a towel just to help you get the stretch. That's fine, that's enough. If you want more, that foot presses into the hand presses into the foot, keep the traction. You're lifting the hip points up, 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 up. And then finally, right at that hip crease, coming forward, finding the dancer pose that's right for you. If you fall out of it, come back to the beginning of it and find it again. And release. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Nice deep breath in, arms rise high. Exhale, hands to heart. Deep breath in. Exhale, find your forward fold. Shake your head out no, shake your head out yes. Two more breaths here in forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down, one leg back and then the other, find plank. however you choose to do it, meet me in child. So maybe you go through a final flow coming down to the mat with the back bend. Maybe you just come back to child's pose. Settle into child. I invite you to consider taking your knees out just a bit wider. So up to you. And maybe finding a little bit of an inner thigh groin stretch as his knees widen. Toes are still touching. Notice where your shoulders are. Are they drifting towards your ears? Can you maybe activate the muscles of the upper back just a bit? Draw those shoulders towards the hips as the fingers reach forward. Gently press into the hands and rise up. Bring the knees together, come over to the side, bring the feet forward. Take your legs out to the side, heels up. Begin to just gently drop the knees side to side. As you're ready, come over to the right. Find a tight place, just zigzag, circle. Go the other direction. Same thing, just where is that tight spot? Come right beside the tight spot, not on top of it, right beside it. Massage it out. Each direction. And release. So, feet on the ground, hands underneath the legs, gently come down, one vertebra at a time. If you have any hair ties or anything that's going to get in the way of your head being down, let's go ahead and move those. We're going to stay down on the mat now. So 2 more hip stretches here. Let's start, right leg stays on the mat. Bring that left foot up over the ankle. Just starting right here, that left hand pressing against the thigh bit so the knee is coming towards the back. Right arm underneath the small of the back. So you're maintaining a little bit of an arch there, just that neutral position of the spine. And then if you want more, you're just going to raise that right leg up off the floor, bring it towards your body. So maybe you stay here. Maybe the hands come underneath. Just breathe in, breathe out. Hands out to the side. It's a little different here. You're actually going to roll over towards your right, okay, towards that back leg. Roll to the side. Just bring your whole body over. So your foot's going to come down to the floor, okay? The other leg is on the mat. And then bring the shoulders to the floor. And find maybe a bit of a stretch here. And if you want a little more, you're going to take that left thumb, bring it into the hip crease of the left leg, and just very, very gently massage the muscles of the glutes kind of away from that hip just a bit. Just see where the stretch goes. Bring the arms out to the side again. Stay there. Draw the abdominals in. Keep the legs crossed as they both come up. Bring the knees up. Hold on to the shins, maybe the calf muscles actually, maybe moving towards the ankles a little bit, maybe even the big toes of the feet. Bring the legs as wide as is right for you. There will be a stretch on the left abductor, the outside of that left leg. Release, come back to center. Unwind the feet, take them wide, drop the knees side to side. And meet me back at center, knees bent, feet on the floor. Here we go, same sequence, other side. Now you know what's coming. So, right leg crosses over the left. Right hand to the thigh, gently nudging it away. Left hand under the small of the back, establish neutral position of the spine. Flex your feet. If you want more stretch, maybe you just stay here through this whole sequence. Want more stretch in the outside of that hip, back leg comes up. Stay here. Maybe you hold on behind that leg, maybe that doesn't work for you. Maybe this is enough stretch for you, this is the right stretch for you, you stay here. Maybe hands out to the side, you just begin to roll over, actually bring both arms over to the left. Bring that right foot to the floor. And then open up the chest. Right arm reaches out to the side. So gentle twist here. Maybe that left thumb comes to the hip crease of that left leg. Sorry, right front leg. Right thumb or right hip crease. Getting my lefts and rights mixed up here. Gently nudging the hip. Muscles of the hip. Just to find the stretch that's right for you. It will manifest in different ways in different bodies. Bring that arm out to the side again. Settle in. Stay here. Engaging through the abdominals. Gently draw both legs up. Draw them towards you. Hands behind the legs, moving out towards the feet. Finding the stretch that is right for you here. And if you are still way back with one leg on the floor and one ankle crossed over your knee, that is okay. As you're ready, heels come down, feet come to the mat. Everybody, feet to the outsides of the mat. Gently just draw the knees side to side. Bring the knees in, give yourself a hug, rock side to side. Hands can be under the knees if that's better for you. Meet me at center. Heels of the hands to the tops of the knees, fingertips over the shins. Begin to gently draw the knees into the rib cage and away. So as you're ready, feet come to the mat. Bring the arms all the way up to the ceiling. Palms come in, they face in. Keeping the arms long, let the shoulders thump to the mat. Do that twice more. Palms come down to hips, legs extend. Palms turn up. Turn your head side to side, top of one ear up and over to the other. As you're ready to settle at center, breathing in. Find breath. As you inhale and exhale for the next few minutes through Shavasana. Inhale, the treasures of heaven. love, patience, joy, kindness, generosity. Exhale the treasures of earth, things that rot and decay, things that have no lasting value. Let go of them. Maybe for you it's attitudes or mental state. Let go of that as well. And stay here until I bring you out of it. From Come Away, My Beloved, from the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 13. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewn themselves cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. And written by the author as if from God to you. Wake up from your drowsiness. Rise and put up on your strength, for the night is far spent. The day is at hand. My people shall be a holy people, but you have gone your own way. You have not considered it, nor paused to take inventory. Return to me, and I will restore you. Put away that which defiles, and that which draws your attention away from me. And I will walk again in your midst, as I walked in the midst of my people of old. Oh yes, I will walk in your midst in power and glory, and by my hand will be wrought miracles. My power shall be manifested, my name shall be glorified, for you will walk in newness of heart. With freshness of spirit will you serve me. For I shall revive you and bless you and pour out my spirit upon you. And you will know that it is the Lord who heals you and forgives your transgressions, sets you upon a rock, and establishes your way. Reconnect to your breath. Notice the way that your body has settled onto the mat. Begin to bring movement back, wiggling fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Just gently turn your head side to side. Taking a deep breath in, bring those arms up and overhead. Just reach, reach, reach for that wall behind you. Find length. And as you're ready, roll over onto your side, settle there, breathe. And that next inhale, come up to sitting. Find your sitting bones, cross your legs comfortably. Notice your natural alignment. Check in, body, mind, and spirit, eyes still closed. Taking a deep breath in, draw arms up and overhead, palms together, bow your head, joining me in prayer. Holy God, we confess that we hold on too tightly to the things of this world. And we thank you for the freedom that comes when we throw those off. We thank you for the space that returns to our lives and to our spirits. God, fill us up with the things of you. Show us what we still need to discard. Show us what is too much and what is just enough. God, we thank you for the freedom that comes with moving unencumbered. As we leave our mats today, may your light shine through us, may your love overflow out of us, that all may know the love that you have for them. In the name of Jesus the Christ, amen. Thank you for joining me today.